Today we're talking about a silent change that steals strength after 65, and it happens while you sleep. Most seniors believe losing muscle is just an inevitable part of aging, something you simply have to accept. But there are simple changes you can make right before bedtime that can actually reverse this process and help you rebuild the strength you thought was gone forever. These strategies are backed by real science and real stories from people just like you who've transformed their energy and independence. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to eat before bed to stop muscle loss, step by step with simple habits you can start tonight. Here's what most people don't realize. Your muscles aren't just sitting there doing nothing while you sleep. They're either rebuilding and getting stronger, or they're slowly breaking down and getting weaker. And for most seniors, unfortunately, it's the latter. Every single night, without the right nutrition, your body is essentially choosing to let your muscles fade away rather than repair and strengthen them. This isn't just about looking good or feeling strong, though those matter too. This is about your independence. This is about being able to carry your own groceries, climb stairs without getting winded, play with your grandchildren, and maintain the quality of life you've worked so hard to build. When you lose muscle, you lose freedom. You become dependent on others for things you used to do without even thinking about it. The medical term for this age-related muscle loss is sarcopenia, but let's just call it what it is: your body slowly giving up on strength because it doesn't have what it needs to stay strong. After age 65, the average person loses about 8% of their muscle mass per decade. That might not sound like much, but it adds up fast. In just 10 years, that's nearly a tenth of your strength gone. In 20 years, it's almost a fifth. But here's the thing that gives me hope, and should give you hope too: this isn't inevitable. Your muscles want to stay strong. They want to rebuild themselves every single night. They just need the right materials and the right timing to do their job properly. Habit 1. Let me give you the first game-changing habit you can start tonight. Eat 20 to 30 grams of high-quality protein within 2 hours of bedtime. Not just any protein, but what I call complete protein that contains all the essential amino acids your muscles need to rebuild themselves while you sleep. Here's exactly how to do it. About an hour and a half before you typically go to bed, have a small serving of one of these protein-rich foods. Greek yogurt, the plain kind, not the sugary varieties, contains about 20 grams of protein per 3/4 of a cup. Cottage cheese has about 14 grams per half cup, so you'd want to have a bit more. A small piece of chicken, about the size of your palm, gives you about 25 grams. Even a glass of milk provides 8 grams, though you'd need to pair it with something else to reach that 20 to 30 gram target. Why does this work? Think of your muscles like a construction site. During the day, all the wear and tear from walking, lifting, and moving around creates tiny tears in your muscle fibers. That's completely normal. It's how muscles work. But at night, while you sleep, your body sends in the repair crew to fix those tears and make the muscles even stronger than before. But here's the crucial part: that repair crew needs building materials. Specifically, they need amino acids, which are the building blocks of protein. If you don't give your body enough protein before bed, it's like sending construction workers to a job site without any supplies. They can't do their job properly, so instead of rebuilding your muscles, your body starts breaking them down to get the amino acids it needs for other essential functions. Let me tell you about Margaret, a 72-year-old woman from Ohio who started this simple habit 8 months ago. She was struggling to get up from her favorite chair without using her arms to push herself up. Her daughter had to help her carry groceries from the car. Margaret felt like she was becoming a burden, and it was affecting her confidence and her mood. Her doctor mentioned that she probably wasn't getting enough protein, especially in the evening. So Margaret started having a small bowl of Greek yogurt with a handful of nuts every night about an hour before bed. Nothing fancy, nothing complicated, just that simple addition to her routine. Within 3 weeks, she noticed she could get up from her chair more easily. Within 2 months, she was carrying her own groceries again. Today she tells me she feels stronger than she has in years. She's even started taking walks around her neighborhood again, something she hadn't done in over a year. Habit 2. Now here's the most powerful strategy of all, and this might surprise you. Pair your bedtime protein with a small amount of healthy carbohydrates. I know, you've probably been told to avoid carbs before bed. But when it comes to muscle preservation in seniors, this combination is absolutely crucial. Here's exactly what to do. Along with your 20 to 30 grams of protein, add 15 to 20 grams of complex carbohydrates. This could be a small apple, a slice of whole grain toast, a handful of berries, or even a small sweet potato. The key is choosing carbs that won't spike your blood sugar dramatically, but will provide just enough energy to fuel the muscle-building process. Let me explain the science in simple terms. When you eat protein, your body breaks it down into amino acids and sends them to your muscles. But your muscles need energy to actually use those amino acids to build new muscle tissue. If you don't provide that energy through carbohydrates, your body has to work much harder to convert the protein into energy first, leaving less protein available for actual muscle building. Think of it like this. Imagine you're trying to build a house. The protein is your lumber and nails, the building materials. But the carbohydrates are the electricity that powers your tools. You can have all the best materials in the world, but without power, your construction crew can't use them effectively. There's also a hormonal component that's especially important for seniors. When you eat carbohydrates, your body releases insulin. Now, insulin often gets a bad reputation, but in the right amounts and at the right times, it's actually a powerful muscle-building hormone. It helps shuttle those amino acids from your protein directly into your muscle cells where they can do their work. Here's a perfect bedtime combination that hits all the right notes. Half a cup of cottage cheese mixed with half a cup of berries and a tablespoon of chopped walnuts. The cottage cheese provides your protein. The berries give you those beneficial carbohydrates, and the walnuts add healthy fats that help with hormone production and nutrient absorption. It's delicious, it's easy to prepare, and it gives your muscles everything they need for a night of rebuilding. Another excellent option is a small bowl of oatmeal made with milk instead of water, topped with a tablespoon of almond butter. The oats provide complex carbohydrates, the milk adds protein, and the almond butter contributes healthy fats and additional protein. Now just type hope in the comments if you're ready to feel like yourself again. And if this resonates with you, if your heart says yes, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to join our gentle growing community of lifelong learners. Let me share Robert's story. Robert is 78 and was a carpenter for most of his life. Strong hands, strong back, the kind of man who could fix anything. But over the past few years, he'd been feeling weaker and more tired. His grip strength had declined so much that he couldn't even open stubborn jar lids anymore. His wife had to take over all the household repairs. Robert's son, who's a personal trainer, suggested he try eating a small snack before bed that combined protein and carbs. Robert was skeptical. He'd been told his whole life not to eat before sleeping. But he was willing to try anything to feel strong again. He started simple, a slice of whole grain toast with 2 tablespoons of peanut butter, eaten about an hour before bed. Within a month, he noticed his energy levels were more consistent throughout the day. After 3 months, his grip strength had improved noticeably. After 6 months, he was back to doing small repairs around the house. Robert told me that this simple change didn't just improve his physical strength, it gave him back his sense of purpose and independence. He felt like himself again. Habit 3. Here's the third crucial strategy. Time your evening meal strategically to maximize muscle building while you sleep. Instead of eating your largest meal at lunch or having dinner very early, aim to have a moderate dinner between 6 and 7 p.m., followed by your protein-carb bedtime snack 2 to 3 hours later. This timing strategy works because it creates what I call a sustained muscle-building window that lasts throughout the night. When you eat your main meal too early in the evening, your body has already processed and used up most of those nutrients by the time you're in deep sleep, which is when most muscle repair happens. Here's how to implement this. If you typically go to bed at 10 p.m., have your main dinner around 6:30 or 7 p.m. This should be a balanced meal with lean protein, vegetables, and some complex carbohydrates. Then, around 8:30 or 9 p.m., have your strategic bedtime snack. Your dinner doesn't need to be huge, but it should provide sustained energy. Think of a palm-sized portion of salmon or chicken, a generous serving of roasted vegetables, and a modest portion of brown rice or quinoa. This gives your body a steady supply of nutrients to work with. The bedtime snack then acts like a top-off for your system, ensuring that when you enter those deep sleep phases around midnight or 1 a.m., your muscles have everything they need for optimal repair and growth. Why is this timing so important? During deep sleep, your body releases growth hormone, which is crucial for muscle maintenance and repair. But growth hormone works best when it has adequate protein and energy available. If your last meal was at 5 p.m. and you don't go to bed until 10 p.m., there's a good chance your body won't have enough resources available during those critical nighttime hours. Let me tell you about Dorothy, an 80-year-old retired teacher who was struggling with what she called old lady arms, that loose, weak feeling in her upper arms that made her self-conscious about wearing sleeveless tops, even in hot weather. She also found herself getting winded just walking up the single flight of stairs to her apartment. Dorothy's daughter suggested she try adjusting her eating schedule based on something she'd read about muscle preservation. Instead of eating her largest meal at lunch and having just a light soup for dinner, Dorothy started having a proper dinner around 6:30 p.m., followed by a small snack of Greek yogurt with honey and granola around 9 p.m. The change wasn't immediate, but it was steady. After about 6 weeks, Dorothy noticed she wasn't getting as winded on the stairs. After 3 months, she felt confident enough to start doing some light arm exercises with small weights. Today, nearly a year later, Dorothy proudly wears sleeveless tops and has even started volunteering at a local community garden, where she spends hours doing physical work she never thought she'd be able to do again. Habit 4. Now, here's the myth-busting truth that ties everything together. The idea that you shouldn't eat before bed is actually working against your muscle health as you age. This advice might make sense for weight loss in younger people, but for seniors who are fighting muscle loss, strategic bedtime eating is not just beneficial, it's essential. The myth comes from the belief that eating before bed automatically leads to weight gain because your metabolism slows down at night. But here's what actually happens. While your overall metabolic rate does decrease slightly during sleep, your muscle repair and building processes actually ramp up. This is when your body does its most important maintenance work. When you're sleeping, your body isn't focused on digestion, movement, or thinking. Instead, it can dedicate its energy to repair and rebuilding, but only if you give it the right materials to work with. Think about it this way. If you were renovating your house, would you schedule the construction crew to come when you had no building supplies available? Of course not. You'd make sure all the materials were delivered and ready before the workers arrived. That's exactly what strategic bedtime eating does for your muscles. Here's another crucial point that many people don't realize. As we age, our bodies become less efficient at using protein. A 20-year-old might be able to build and maintain muscle with 20 grams of protein per meal, but a 70-year-old might need 25 to 30 grams to achieve the same effect. This is called anabolic resistance, and it's why the timing and amount of protein becomes even more critical as we get older. The key is choosing the right foods and the right amounts. We're not talking about eating a large, heavy meal before bed. We're talking about a carefully chosen combination of nutrients in moderate amounts that support your body's natural nighttime repair processes. Here are some additional perfect bedtime combinations that follow this principle. A small smoothie made with half a cup of milk, half a banana, and a tablespoon of almond butter. This gives you complete proteins from the milk, natural carbohydrates from the banana, and healthy fats from the almond butter. 2 hard-boiled eggs with a small piece of whole grain toast. The eggs provide high-quality complete protein, and the toast offers complex carbohydrates for sustained energy. A small bowl of bone broth with some crackers. Bone broth is rich in collagen and amino acids that are particularly beneficial for muscle and joint health, while the crackers provide the carbohydrate component. The beauty of this approach is that it works with your body's natural rhythms instead of against them. You're not forcing your system to do something unnatural, you're simply providing the right support at the right time. Let me share one more story that really illustrates this principle. Frank is an 85-year-old retired mechanic who was told by his doctor that he was at risk of becoming frail. His muscle mass had declined significantly, and he was having trouble with balance and stability. His family was worried about him falling and seriously injuring himself. Frank had always been proud of his strength and independence, so this news was devastating. But instead of accepting it as inevitable, he decided to fight back. He started implementing all four of these strategies: adequate bedtime protein, pairing it with healthy carbs, timing his meals strategically, and ignoring the old advice about not eating before bed. Frank's approach was simple but consistent. Every night, about an hour before bed, he'd have what he called his strength snack, usually cottage cheese with some fruit and nuts, or a glass of milk with a small peanut butter sandwich on whole grain bread. The results were remarkable. Within 4 months, Frank's doctor noted that his muscle mass had not only stopped declining, but had actually started to improve. His balance got better, his energy increased, and his confidence returned. Today, at 87, Frank is still living independently and even helps his neighbors with small maintenance tasks around their homes. Frank's success wasn't due to any magical foods or expensive supplements. It was simply about understanding what his aging body needed and providing it consistently, night after night. What makes these strategies so powerful is that they address the root cause of age-related muscle loss, not just the symptoms. Most approaches focus on what to do during the day: exercise more, eat more protein at lunch, take supplements. While those things can be helpful, they miss the crucial 8-hour window when your body is actually doing most of its repair work. Think about it. You spend about 1/3 of your life sleeping. That's 8 hours every single day when your body could be rebuilding and strengthening your muscles, or 8 hours when it could be breaking them down. Over months and years, that adds up to an enormous difference in your strength, independence, and quality of life. The strategies I've shared with you today are about claiming those 8 hours for muscle building instead of muscle loss. They're about working with your body's natural processes instead of against them. And here's something that gives me tremendous hope. Unlike many age-related changes, muscle loss is largely reversible. Your muscles maintain their ability to grow and strengthen throughout your entire life. Yes, it might take a bit more effort and attention than it did when you were younger, but the potential is always there. I've seen 70-year-olds regain strength they hadn't had in decades. I've seen 80-year-olds start exercising again after years of thinking they were too old. I've seen 90-year-olds improve their balance and reduce their fall risk simply by giving their bodies what they needed to maintain strong muscles. Let me give you a simple way to start implementing these strategies tonight. Choose just one of these bedtime snack options and commit to having it every night for the next 2 weeks. Option 1. 3/4 cup of Greek yogurt with half a cup of berries and a tablespoon of chopped nuts. Option 2. Half a cup of cottage cheese with half a sliced apple and a drizzle of honey. Option 3. A small smoothie with half a cup of milk, half a banana, and a tablespoon of nut butter. Option 4. 2 hard-boiled eggs with 1 slice of whole grain toast. The key is consistency. Your muscles need this support every single night, not just occasionally. Think of it like taking a daily medication. It only works if you take it regularly. After 2 weeks, pay attention to how you feel. Do you have more energy during the day? Do you feel stronger when getting up from chairs or climbing stairs? Are you sleeping better? These are all signs that your muscles are starting to rebuild themselves. Once you're comfortable with the bedtime snack routine, you can start optimizing your dinner timing. Remember, the goal is to have your main meal around 6 to 7 p.m., followed by your strategic snack 2 to 3 hours later. I know some of you might be worried about weight gain from eating before bed. Let me address this directly. The small amounts of food we're talking about, typically between 150 to 250 calories, are unlikely to cause weight gain, especially when they're supporting muscle building. Remember, muscle tissue burns more calories than fat tissue even at rest. So as you build and maintain muscle mass, your metabolism actually improves. Many of the seniors I work with find that they either maintain their weight or even lose a bit of fat while gaining muscle when they implement these strategies. If you're concerned about digestion or sleep quality, start with smaller portions and see how your body responds. Some people do better with their bedtime snack closer to 2 hours before sleep, while others can eat it just an hour before with no issues. Pay attention to your body and adjust accordingly. If you have diabetes or other blood sugar concerns, focus on the combinations that pair protein with complex carbohydrates rather than simple sugars. The cottage cheese with apple, eggs with toast, or Greek yogurt with nuts are all good options that won't cause dramatic blood sugar spikes. Let me recap the 4 simple habits that can help you stop muscle loss and start rebuilding strength. First, eat 20 to 30 grams of high-quality protein within 2 hours of bedtime. Second, pair that protein with 15 to 20 grams of healthy carbohydrates to fuel the muscle-building process. Third, time your evening meals strategically with dinner around 6 to 7 p.m. and your bedtime snack 2 to 3 hours later. Fourth, ignore the old myth about not eating before bed. For seniors, strategic bedtime eating is essential for maintaining muscle health. These aren't complicated changes that require you to overhaul your entire life. They're simple, practical adjustments that work with your body's natural processes to help you maintain and even rebuild the strength that gives you independence and confidence. The transformation you can experience isn't just physical, though feeling stronger and more capable is certainly wonderful. It's about reclaiming your sense of control over your own body and your own life. It's about knowing that you're actively fighting against the misconception that getting weaker is just part of getting older. You have more control over your muscle health than you've been led to believe. Your body wants to stay strong, it just needs the right support at the right times. And now you know exactly how to provide that support. It's never too late to start. Whether you're 65 or 95, your muscles can still respond to the right nutrition and care. I've seen it happen countless times, and I believe it can happen for you too. Try just 2 of these strategies for 7 days, and pay attention to how you feel. Notice your energy levels, your strength, your confidence. Then subscribe to this channel for more ways to stay strong and independent at every age, because you deserve to feel your best at every stage of life. Remember, you're not just getting older, you're getting better equipped with the knowledge to age with strength, dignity, and independence. Your best days aren't behind you, they're still ahead, and they start with the choices you make tonight.